Hello and welcome to NerdVsWorld, episode 73, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Nerds. I've got the title then. I'm Brendan.
I'm Spindles.
And on today's episode, we're doing a quick trailer breakdown for some exciting new trailers that came out this week. Rogue One, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and Logan. We'll be talking about that premiere for Walking Dead Season 7. Couple more at the final round of returning shows for the fall season. Anything else?
Just a couple more shows that are kind of out there that aren't particularly high profile that I reckon people should be watching.
Awesome. Should we just start with the Walking Dead?
Yeah, let's do it. So, spoiler warning, Walking Dead.
Yeah.
If you haven't yet seen episode 1 of the new season of Walking Dead, come back when you have.
Yeah. If you have seen it, you're in a safe place now. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
And we were right. We were right all along.
Yeah. I thought they were going to bottle it.
After they'd done it, yeah, because I thought they would have killed Glenn first.
Yeah, I thought they were going to kill Glenn first and then make the point with Abraham. But when they killed Abraham first, I was like, they bottled it. And then, later in the episode, Glenn buys the farm in pretty much the exact same way that he buys it in the comic.
It was really actually quite impressively close.
Yeah.
Down to the popping out eyeball and everything.
Popping out eye, the dialogue, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a bleak premiere.
Oh yeah.
It's one thing they've always done well though. They've always done the premiere episodes very, very well. Whether it's the near enough silent episode they did a couple of seasons back.
Yeah.
With Carl and his father. To this one, this one they handle well. It'll be interesting to see how they keep it going throughout the series, but Rick is very much a broken man now.
Yeah. I don't know about anybody else, but I thought he was going to chop off Rick's hand.
Yeah, I thought he was going to catch that part up with the comics as well.
Yeah, because obviously for those of you who've read the comics, Rick at this point is pretty much missing a limb.
Yeah.
And so I thought they were going to go for that, but then at the moment when they brought Carl down for it, I was like, ooh. I actually thought they were going to do it as well.
So she was like, make sure you cut it at a 45-degree angle so he has something to wrap around it.
Yeah. I honestly thought they were going to go for that then.
That would have been hideous. One-handed and one-eyed Carl.
Yeah.
But Negan is just such a cool villain. There's just something about him. He's menacing in a way that the Governor wasn't. The Governor was like almost far too try-hard by comparison. Yeah,
I think the Governor was that without the humour.
Yeah.
I think it's the humour of Negan that makes him even more sinister.
Yeah. And I guess it's the time as well. And the Governor was like a despot of a little village at the start of everything going on. So he was just stockpiling and using stockpiles to keep control and keep power, whereas Negan's had to do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, and this is years later and with a massive army behind him. I still think that was one of the best things from last season, was just the sense of scale of Negan's army that they managed to get into that last episode.
Yeah.
And just, the complete sinister we are everywhere feeling of it, which, I thought that was done so well last season.
Yeah. So now we just need to see where it goes. I mean, Maggie, bless her, gone through hell, but does seem like she's the next one to lead this group.
Yeah. I think so.
She's the first one to step up and go, right, no, we're going to fuck this guy up. We'll see how her story plays out. But
I think it'll be interesting, because I think Rick does need to take that back seat now. I think, exactly as Negan says, he's been king shit for too long.
Yeah.
And now he's been very, very much put in his place.
Yeah, it was difficult to watch.
Yeah, it was bleak and it was tough to watch. I found it interesting that there were all the kind of quick shots of every member of the cast having their heads stoved in, and I was wondering whether that was just a kind of secrecy thing that they filmed everyone getting
they did film everyone, I think.
Well, they had to have done just for those scenes. So
they legitimately filmed everybody, probably just in case something leaked, I guess.
That's what I thought maybe, but it must have been obvious with the scenes afterwards who it actually was that got beaten up. But I thought it was very nice. It was nice that you got a lot of kind of the black and white flashback subliminals.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool.
But we knew it was Abe because things start to go right for him.
Mm. Oh, yeah.
The last episode, he finally found a bit of happiness.
Yeah, indeed. That's it. It's completely fucked now.
That is it.
Yeah.
Like, the second you put your guard down and find happiness in this world, you are fucked.
Yeah. Indeed. Glenn had his happiness, then, he went away and we all thought he was dead, and then had the nice reuniting moment, and now look what's gone on.
Well, there's a lot of questions about that. I mean, one principal question I saw today, I think it was on Rolling Stone, was, do you think the whole Dumpstergate incident lessened the impact of Glenn's death?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it would have been much better if they'd just kept him there all along and there was no foreshadowing of it. They just flat out killed him in that scene as it was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
I think it would have had even more impact if they played it out like they did now by killing Abe first, and the audience would have been like, "Ooh, okay, they've gone for him instead of Glenn."
Yeah, and then
killed Glenn as well. And I think that would have been a wonderful bait and switch.
Because the problem with doing it, the whole problem with the dumpster was that you got nerds like us who immediately came online for podcasts and blogs saying, but that's not when he's meant to die. And people who hadn't seen the show immediately became aware of Negan before the showrunners made them aware of Negan.
Yeah. And just purely because it didn't make sense, as we've said on the show before, walkers don't get bored and walk away if there's like thrashing meat underneath a dumpster.
No, they just tuck in. But no, he's definitely gone.
Yes.
Bulging eyeballs and everything. He is gone.
And so, I guess it's where are we next for the crew? They've got a week to get themselves sorted and provide some stuff for Negan.
And we've still got Carol and Morgan to catch up on because they weren't in this episode.
No, indeed. Because are they back at Alexandria?
No, I think they're off with Hilltop.
Right.
Is it Hilltop? No, not Hilltop. Because we see Ezekiel and the Lion in the trailers for this series. I think it's one of those.
Right.
That saved them. Because they're off the guy on the horse, weren't they?
Yeah.
So, we'll find out where they are next week, I imagine.
And then now, of course, Daryl's gone AWOL.
Yeah. Well, he's gone off with Negan.
Yeah. So it remains to be seen whether we'll see much from Daryl's perspective or whether he'll just be out of it for the majority of the season and then come back with a kind of a solo episode towards the end.
I guess you had to kind of look at Norman Reedus' schedule and was he redoing stuff with the Boondocks?
I can see it making sense that he's absent for a lot of the season and then he just turns up out of nowhere and then we get his backstory.
Yeah. Interesting if he challenges Rick or if he's completely brainwashed and completely on Team Negan. We'll see how it goes. Because there's plenty of storyline left for them to be digging into now. Yeah.
And I guess that's the thing with Daryl is there is no comparative.
Yeah.
So he can literally do anything.
Do whatever he wants. Yeah. But it was a good, solid opening episode. But bleak as fuck.
Yeah.
So if you watched it, congrats, you made it through. Well done.
Now you've only got the rest of the season to go.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to get any easier this season.
No.
I think it's going to be a tough watch all the way through. Which is good, because fiction should be challenging at times.
It should be challenging, but then again, to pick up on something that we were talking about before the show, it shouldn't feel like a chore. Yeah. And I think some series do, like the... I forgot what it's called, The Leftovers, with Christopher Eccleston.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah, well, you see, we watched all of season 1 and that was alright. It was just, a certain percentage of the population went missing and then it's a couple of years later, it's how everybody's dealt with that. But then the second season's taken a turn for the utterly bizarre and they've gone to this town where nobody went missing and then the main character's turned up there and he was going to try and top himself by jumping into a lake and then he jumped into the lake and all the water disappeared. And then it just got utterly odd. So they're in a town where you need wristbands to get into it, like a festival. And Christopher Eccleston's priest, I find him so tough to watch because he's just utterly unlikable.
Yeah.
And we watched, I think it was about episode 3 or 4 the other day of season 2, and it's honestly like running some kind of gauntlet and going, bloody hell, we got through that. Right, okay, should we do another one? Fuck no.
I'm like that with Black Mirror at the moment. See, I never watched season 1 and 2.
Right.
But I saw the Everton season 3 on Netflix, so I started watching it. It's tough.
Oh, it's dark.
It's really tough going. Like, the first episode on this series is called Nosedive, and it's all about one woman's, like, the future of this woman lives in. Like, everyone can rate everyone else. Like, you are your social media profile, and people can rate you, and based on your rating, you get certain things. You're treated better depending on your on your score.
Yeah.
And it's all about, she's a 4.2 out of 5, and she needs to get to a 4.5 so she can get a discount for Prime Influencer discount.
Okay, so that's kind of like the what's it called? There's a social...
Yeah, there's Clout.
Clout, that's the one.
Thing.
Yes.
Which is the real world thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's trying to get her social score up so she can qualify for this discount on this apartment. And so it's all about her trying to make her way to an old friend's wedding where she's going to be the maid of honour. And her friends are 4.8, so she knows that if she can nail the maid of honour speech in front of hundreds and hundreds of 4.8 to 5s, her score's going to get a significant boost. And then it all goes fucking tits up, and she crashes, and like everything that could possibly go wrong goes wrong. Like the minorest of interactions. That doesn't even sound like a word. The most,
it isn't.
The minorest? The most minor of interactions, like with people, can cause them to just rate you down, just out of spite, or people who are lower on the scale don't really put the same value on your interactions as you do when you're desperate to try and climb. And I'm watching it and I'm just cringing because I'm thinking, I've done what she's done. I posted a picture on Instagram and waited for that first like. And I watched it and I fucking cringed and hated myself watching it. And it was tough to watch because when things start going wrong for her, it's brutal how it goes wrong. So I watched that and I was like, oh, thank God, that's out of the way. Right, I'll watch one more. The next one is called Playtest, and it's about an American backpacker who runs out of money and he answers the job to playtest this new computer game, and that should have been enough. I should have known at that point that things weren't going to be particularly nice. And then it's a horror game that he's testing. He's testing this
like a survival horror game.
But it's AR, so he's implanted with a chip, and it's all in his head. And the episode plays out, and it's horrific. I am not a fan of horror. I am a fucking pussy. Like, Event Horizon ruined horrors for me.
Oh dear. Well, that was particularly fierce, in all honesty.
I've not been able to watch a horror since, really. I tried watching it again recently, and I paused after 10 minutes and put on every single light in the house.
It's the subliminals in it. It's all the subliminal things that happen in Event Horizon that make it really bad.
So I watched this horror episode of Black Mirror, and oh god, damn near shit myself. It was terrifying.
Binge watch the shit out of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic after that, just to get you back on a level.
I was glad I was watching it in the afternoon. I was glad that I was being a worthless bum, lying in bed on a Sunday afternoon with nothing to do apart from watch TV. If it had been a late night viewing, I wouldn't have slept. Really wouldn't have slept. Trigger warning: arachnophobes, don't watch it. I'm not arachnophobic, so I wasn't too bothered. No. But if you're an arachnophobe, don't watch Playtest.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that was bleak as fuck. And like, episode 3 was waiting for me. I was like, no. I need to speak to a living person.
Go outside and interact with people.
I'm not sure what's real now.
Make sure the universe still exists.
Can people still see me? So yeah, it's worth the watch. I mean, like if you're into some really twisted Outer Limits style sci-fi.
It's Charlie Brooker. Everything he's done, I've really, really enjoyed. Did you watch Dead Set?
No, that's the Big Brother
Zombie one. Yeah, that was fabulous.
Yeah, I never watched that.
Absolutely fabulous.
But it's just mental how close to an actual reality this satire is meant to be.
That's what I love about Charlie Brooker. He just has that sense of really putting a finger on what's wrong with our society and reflecting it back at us, which is what Black Mirror is all about.
Yeah. But yeah, it's on Netflix. Give it a shot.
Yeah. Another one that you should give a try to if you haven't is Neil Gaiman's Likely Stories, which is a series of kind of just 10-minute shorts that are ideas from Neil Gaiman. I'm not sure what network it was on. I just found it when I was just browsing around somewhere and went, ooh, what's that then? Because I'd watched the 10-minute tales that were on Sky a couple of years ago, and he did Statuesque with Amanda Palmer. It's essentially more of the same of those, but just some very, very odd ideas. The first one is about a guy who eventually decides that his penis isn't his own and it's taking over his body.
Well, well, it has a way of doing that.
That just it pretty much puts a level on on the series from there, and they're really quite interesting. It's just the way Neil Gaiman has of taking a very interesting idea and then just going sideways with it.
I believe there's a new on the subject of Neil Gaiman. I believe there's a new Neverwhere radio drama.
There is, yeah. It's How the Mackey Got His Coat Back, which I have as a novella. It's a novella that he released a few years ago.
Yeah, so that's Radio 4, I think, coming soon.
Yes, and it's back to some of the original Neverwhere cast. So Patterson Joseph's back as the Mackey again.
Marquis de Carabas.
Rather than David...
Howard.
David Harewood, yes. He did the Neverwhere series on radio last year.
Yeah. Cool.
So it's a weird conglomerate of the two casts by the look of it. So quite interesting. Yes. Okay. Okay, so we've done a lot of the dark and disturbings. So let's go for the light and fluffies and the DC TV universe, which is all back now.
It's all back, but I do not watch Legends of Tomorrow or Flash. I just stick with Arrow. No, I don't watch Supergirl either, which is odd because I watched the pilot of that when it was leaked before Comic-Con last year, and I really enjoyed it, and I defended it strongly against critics of it at the time, but just never got round to actually watching the series.
Season 1 wasn't great. And they've taken the interesting twist of season 2 and brought Superman in, and he's now a main character in the show.
Oh.
So it's Superman and Supergirl teaming up and fighting crime. So he's no longer just being referred to as my cousin. He's now being referred to as Superman, and he's been brought in as part of the universe. And then DC Legends of Tomorrow is back. Thankfully, they've got rid of the irritating Hawk people, who I hated throughout the entire of season 1, and they have a new kind of plot line going on where basically they're now taking on the job from the Time Masters, who had nasty things happen to them last season. But what was interesting was last episode they brought in the Justice Society of America. The whole lot, they just dropped them in. It was like, wow, alright. So I really enjoy it. I think it's a great show. I think Dominic Purcell still just makes the show utterly.
Okay.
Well worth watching. I think.
Where would you suggest to start? Just skip the first season
of Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'd say watch a couple at the start just to get an idea of what the premise is, and then watch the season finale.
Okay.
Because You won't get the build-up of some of the great characters. So it's the two guys from Prison Break, as Mr. Cold and I can't remember the names, but those characters just make the show. Just the two of them with White Canary are just a brilliant trio, and every time they go off to do something, it's utterly hilarious.
Okay, well, I'll watch the first episodes then, and then the finale, and then just jump into season 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I guess now it's all forming part of a bigger universe, and they are all crossing over a lot now. So you kind of have to watch them in order, and I believe the order is Flash, Arrow, DC, Supergirl. Because they're all out in the same week.
Yeah, well, that makes sense, because Flash is out on the Tuesday.
Yeah.
Or is it on the Wednesday?
Yeah, then Legends of Tomorrow, then Supergirl. Supergirl hasn't quite crossed over as much with the others yet. It's only crossed over with Flash. So I assume there will be some point where it will start crossing over with Arrow. And yeah, DC has Legends of Tomorrow now has the bad guy from season 1 of Flash in there as the bad guy.
He was the bad guy in season 1 of Flash.
Eobard Thawne.
Okay, yeah, no, it's one that I missed.
Yeah. So he's now working with some of the other baddies in DC because he can time travel.
Okay. Isn't it also because of the Flashpoint thing?
Also, because of the Flashpoint, it's because of that he ends up being released.
Right.
And that's how he ends up in Legends of Tomorrow.
Okay.
So there's a lot of interrelation between all the shows now. And I think you need to kind of keep on top of them, otherwise big universe events I think you might miss.
Oh no. That sucks. I'd have to watch Flash.
Yep. And Legends of Tomorrow.
Okay.
You don't sound convinced.
Let's find the time to watch more TV.
Really crowbar in another 3 episodes a week?
Yeah.
So yeah, so all of those are back, and I'm really enjoying them.
Okay. I'm enjoying Arrow.
Yeah, you see, Arrow, I'm not so much, and I think even Flash has gone downhill a little bit for me because it just seems like everybody and their dog is now turning up and fighting crime in Central City.
Yeah.
So is it Star City or Central City? I can't remember.
Star City.
Star City in Arrow.
For Arrow, yeah.
Yeah, and then Central City for Flash.
Yeah.
And everybody in Flash now seems to have the Speed Force. Everyone. It's just like, who are you, Reddit? Oh, you've got the Speed Force, have you? Oh, right, okay. You've been in the series since the start, and you've got the Speed Force now, have you? And you had it, but you lost it last episode, and you've got it in an alternate reality. No. No. It's called The Flash, not Army of Flash. So, yeah, that's... I have problems with the show on those grounds.
Yeah, I'm gonna have problems with Arrow, I think, in terms of the timeline, because he was on the island for 5 years, right?
They've got to be fucking running out of flashbacks by now.
Yeah, actually that makes sense. So he's on the island for 5 years.
Yes.
This is the 5th year.
Yes.
He does mention in this episode that his father died 10 years ago. So, yeah.
It's got to be getting to the point, so they've got to get through all this Bratvar stuff,
yeah,
and then he's got to get back to the island, and then we can stop having fucking flashbacks. Because 5 seasons in, I mean, even Lost gave up by now.
Well, Lost started flashing forwards and flashing sideways. Yeah. I think we're used to flashbacks on TV. I think the way that it happens in Lost and the way that happens in Arrow, we're used to it. Which is why I think we're missing it in Westworld.
So yes, you're still on with the theory of it's all happening 30 years apart.
I think it's both.
Okay, because I watched the last episode from that standpoint, and it didn't seem to make sense because she was sent off with some stuff and she found the gun and so forth, and that's all happening in the now.
Mm.
And the White Hat is around in the now.
Or is he?
He seems to be. Because it's all part of this new storyline.
But when the White Hat arrives at the park in the 2nd episode and is shown into the waiting room and given all his options and stuff, the Westworld logo is different to the Westworld logo in the now.
Yes, I see potentially where you are with that one, but the rest of it doesn't seem to stack up.
The theory is that the White Hat is the Man in Black.
No, I know. Yeah. But I don't think it can be.
Okay.
Because that's why I watched that. Was it episode 3? I watched with a critical thinking of that in mind, and it didn't seem to stack up for me because of the sequence of events.
Right. It's one to go back and watch again. I think
I've not watched this week's yet, so I can't watch that one.
I got 7 minutes into this week's episode, and the piano in the bar was really early in the episode. And I know the fucking song that it's playing.
I didn't get last week's.
Last week's was the Peregrine Rag by Scott Joplin. It was just simply an old-time ragtime song.
Okay, well there you go. Yeah. I didn't recognise it, so...
I recognised the start, because it sounded a little bit like The Entertainer. But then it misses a couple of notes that The Entertainer plays in. So yeah, I just looked at some Scott Joplin, and it's just the Peregrine Rag. But this one is driving me fucking nuts. So I couldn't actually finish the episode, so I kept rewinding it and just going for it again and again and again. Just, it's not like me to get obsessed about tiny details or anything.
Really?
But I couldn't figure it out, so I just gave up and started watching the show. But I think that's the clue. I think if it's a contemporary... If it's a modern song done in a piano style, I think that's an indicator that the episode is
predominantly...
That's the word. Set in the now, whereas if it's an old time song that is less anachronistic, then it's set in the past.
Okay.
So I think episode 3 was mostly set in the past.
Right. Okay.
Would be my interpretation of that as a clue.
We shall have to see. There are many threads.
So many. It's difficult to pick up on now. But it is Abrams. And Abrams likes chucking theology in there as well.
Yes. Yeah, don't we know it, Lost fans?
Yeah, he did that a lot with Lost. So there's a lot of theology and philosophy thrown into it. Hopefully it's leading somewhere, unlike Lost, which ultimately went nowhere.
Or Battlestar Galactica.
I like that ending. That was a little side note.
You were in the minority, I can guarantee you.
I like the ending of the ending of Lost as well.
Well,
in a weird way.
I just didn't appreciate the Christianity overtones of BSG's ending, and I thought that Lost needed something more substantial as an ending.
I watched it and I went to bed and then I dreamt about the ending, and in my dream it was completely explained to me, and I woke up forgetting my dream.
That was an excellent ending to Lost.
With a sense of understanding of the ending, and just left it at that. It's like, dream me was convinced. So.
The rest of us did. The rest of us walked away going, yeah, you could have done more with that.
Yeah, or going, yeah, we called that after season 1. But
because there was, I've still not watched the one that happened afterwards, which was the new Man in Charge, which was a short that was made after the series finished, which is about Linus and is it Eugene?
Who?
I've forgotten his name.
Hurley, the fat guy.
Yeah. So it's Hurley and Linus in charge of the island.
Okay. See, that was another show with the whole black and white.
It was indeed, from the outset.
Yeah. We've got black hat and white hat and Westworld. Oh god, Abrams just tells the exact same story but in different sort of skins.
So at some point we'll have a squidgy red MacGuffin.
Yeah. Well, that's the maze, isn't it?
Maybe. We'll see.
We get
source somewhere.
We get a little bit more about the maze in episode 4.
Okay.
The maze is mentioned to Dolores during one of her debriefs with that dodgy doctor.
Oh, right, yeah.
Who is very obviously covering something up.
Yes.
If you find the centre of the maze, you can be free. And she's like, I think I would like to be free. And then she goes back into the world.
Yeah, I think that was one of my things that I thought that the timing was out with the white hat and black hat, because Tandy Newton's character was remembering being there and being cut open, and that was happening in the now, as far as I could tell. And at that point, the white hat was in there.
Oh yeah. So yeah, she would have been taken. So she would have taken to modern park operations.
Yeah. So this is why I thought bits of it seemed to unravel slightly when I looked at it through those lenses.
That's fair.
But we'll see. I mean, there may be an explanation for it all. I'm sure there will be. But whether they actually tell us or not, I don't know. They'll just finish the series smugly and go, see, we answered everything. And the audience will go, no, don't get it. Anyhow,
yeah.
Other returning shows, everything's back now. So
Supernatural's
back.
And just like Lucifer, there's other characters and mummy issues.
Everybody's mum's turning up. We had this discussion because we sat and watched it with Megan, and we're just like, is it just me or is everybody's mum just turning up in a show now?
So yeah, Sam and Dean have their mum back.
And she's pretty kick-ass.
Yeah. Well, she's a hunter.
Yeah, and then we have
the British men of letters.
Psycho British men of letters, and damn are they harsh.
They're brutal.
It's like, her job, as far as I can tell, is to go there and make initial contact with the American hunters. And her initial contact involves shooting Sam, stabbing, torturing, then getting Dean, stabbing, torturing, beating the shit out of all of them, casting spells on their mum, and it's just all, all just like, whoa!
She does get pulled back. She gets reined back in by this Mick guy. And then there's this Mr. Fetch.
The promise of Mr. Ketch.
Mr. Ketch, yeah.
Who's somebody who's going to be on his way who doesn't look like a particularly nice individual.
No.
I believe the only words that were uttered at that point was, "Oh God, please let it not be Vinnie Jones."
Yeah.
I think were the main words uttered in our household.
I think Hollywood's forgotten about him.
No, God no, because he was in all sorts recently. He was in the first episode of what was it?
So I've forgotten about him.
He was in the pilot episode of something recently. I can't remember what the hell it was now.
Can't be that important then.
No, it really was, and I can't remember what now. That's going to bug me now. But yeah, so other stuff that's come back. Are we missing anything else?
Elementary's back.
Yeah. Now I've not watched this yet. So how is this season shaping up?
It's shaping up pretty well. Joan has a side business now. She's helping an old patient of hers who has just come out of prison, and he has a drug issue. So he's an informant, and she's now becoming a sober companion to him as part of an additional step to keep challenging herself and feeling useful, because Sherlock noted that they were approaching what seemed to be a pattern of a time frame when she moves on from gets itchy feet and moves on from one thing to the next. So he suggested that. So far, I'm not really getting any idea of an overall plot, although this former patient, does seem to be important.
Okay.
To something.
Because weren't they starting to bring the Moriarty angle back in again towards the back end of last season?
Yeah, nothing like that's going to be.
Because they were referencing her a couple of times towards the end of the last season.
So far, nothing.
Okay. So the thing that Vinnie Jones was back in was MacGyver.
Oh, well,
He's in the pilot of MacGyver.
I never watched that, so.
But he's also due to be in the new Kingsman film.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
So it appears that they haven't quite forgotten about him yet.
Well, that's a shame.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. So, well, I've got to find out who's playing Mr. Ketch in Supernatural, because I'll be interested to see.
Yeah, it looks like this typical hitman type of character there.
But what did you think of the Rick Springfield angle in Supernatural?
The what?
Rick Springfield is the guy who's playing Vincent, who's now Lucifer, the musician.
Oh, like the devil literally inhabiting a rock star.
Yes, played by Rick Springfield, who is a rock star.
I didn't spot him.
Yeah, that's who he is.
Trying
to remember what his big song was. I remember telling Megan the other day what his big song was.
I had no idea he was a legit rock star.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know, it seems like Lucifer's been jumping around from body to body. But I want to know how he survived the spell.
Indeed.
Because it's not just him in that body, by the look of it. Because his dead girlfriend appears to him.
Yeah.
And says, all you have to do is let me in. So, don't know whether that was the devil in the first place. It doesn't seem like it.
Excuse me.
Because Lucifer hasn't had that kind of power.
No. Jesse's Girl was what Rick Springfield did. That was his big hit.
Yeah, completely missed that one. Right by me. But yes, he manages to survive the spell. That'll be intriguing, but
it was
I'm
interesting.
kind of bored of Rowena, if I'm honest.
Well, yeah, I'm bored of that. I was expecting them to actually get somewhere against Lucifer in this episode, but then they just failed again.
Yeah.
And then Crowley legged it again, and his mum got stuck with Lucifer again, and it's just going on and on and on.
She's a great character, but she is too predictably treacherous.
Backstabbing, yeah.
It's too predictable. She needs to do something shocking. She started to redeem herself a little bit in the showdown at the end of last season, but not enough to genuinely be forgiven or trusted.
Yeah.
And how Abel can keep trusting her is just beyond me. So yeah. But I think the big fun in this is going to be Sam and Dean and their mum. Yeah.
But I think we can safely say it's unlikely that Jeffrey Dean Morgan's going to be turning up anytime soon.
No, he's kind of busy.
I did notice they crowbarred in some black and white grainy images of him this episode of Sam and Dean's mum sat looking at photos of a young Photoshop Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Like he was in this show once. Now he's off beating the shit out of people with a baseball bat.
Could always be John.
Yeah. Well, I think that was the first thing I saw him in, I think.
Yes.
And then he went on to do Watchmen.
Yeah, he was a comedian in Watchmen.
Because I remember going, oh wow, the dad from Supernatural's doing that. Yeah. Okay, I can see that.
Yeah. Cool. I think that's it in terms of returning TV shows.
I think it probably is, yeah.
So you had a couple which aren't high priority.
Yeah, well, I've just done the shout out for the Neil Gaiman one, but the other one is Quarry.
Okay.
Which is the 1970s set one about a Marine who comes back from Vietnam and has trouble fitting in, and eventually ends up becoming part of a contract kill squad. So what happens is a guy turns up and says, "Here's a load of money, and you can work it off by doing jobs for me whenever I come and do them, whenever I come and tell you to." And it's really quite gritty, quite dark, and it's one of those kind of complex character shows where there's a lot going on and it's very visceral. But it's well worth a watch because it's set very bleakly in the 70s. It's that kind of stark 70s angle. So visually, it's reminiscent of True Detective.
Okay.
And that kind of thing. But it's a very, very... Yeah, it's an interesting show. It's a kind of social commentary piece again about kind of returning people from Vietnam having problems fitting back into normal society again. But it's one of those shows where you get to the end of the episode and you go, oh god, no, that's not going. Oh, it is going to happen. It's one of those shows, and then you go, oh, that's nasty, and then
Okay, fair enough. Right. There was a part of playtest Black Mirror where I think my housemate could actually hear me going, shit, fuck, no, shit. She's like, oh, you watch like Black Mirror, dude. Don't watch it, man. Don't watch it. It's fucked up.
Excellent. I'm going to have to watch those now. In between my still watching 24. I'm nearly at the end of season 6 now.
No more
Kim Bauer. No. Since I think season 3 she turned up, and that's the last time. She's been referenced by name a couple of times,
okay.
But now all the harsh subplots have been happening to Audrey Raines instead, so she's taken over the mantle of unfortunate subplots. But nothing anywhere near the scope of Kim Bauer in season 2.
Now my rewatch at the moment is The West Wing. I think with all the presidential debate shit that's going on in the States, I've just dug out the one president that I would vote for. Josiah Bartlett. Just the best show ever.
I see for me. Wayne Palmer for president.
Okay. Trailers.
Oh yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So it has been a week for a lot of big
great
trailer
interest.
drops.
So, Rogue One, first of all.
Definitely. Go straight for the one that I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah.
My God, that looks good.
Doesn't adjust. The thing is, they still haven't shown in any of these recent trailers some of the footage they showed at Celebration.
Right, okay.
There's still some stuff that
So
hasn't
you've
been
still
shown.
got a head start on the rest of us.
Yeah, which I think is kind of cool.
But Vader.
Yeah. Oh, Vader. It just looks incredible. Thanks to Facebook Memories, I know that this time last year I was waiting up until 3 a.m. for the final Force Awakens trailer, and Rogue One didn't make me cry in the same way
Well,
the final Force Awakens trailer
it
did.
wasn't going to, because it doesn't have anything that iconic.
Well, it kind of does. Like that image of the Death Star. There's the image in the marketplace on Jeddah, where in the sky you see the Star Destroyer hovering over it. That's pretty iconic. And then Vader walking towards Quinnick, whatever his name is.
Matt Mikkelsen.
Yeah. That's pretty.
It looks
pretty big.
amazing. I can't wait for it. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be incredible. So yeah, we get a little more plot detail. Jyn Erso's father is responsible
Apparently
for
one of the lead
designing
engineers, yeah.
and building the Death Star. Probably not willingly.
No, probably not from the look of...
From the look of what he says to her at the start, all I did keep you safe. So, I don't think there's going to be any family issues there, but yeah. It certainly seems to be why she's come to the Empire's attention.
And there's definitely some at least Force-sensitive people
Oh, yeah.
kicking around in it.
There are. Jeddah, the desert planet, is like a mecca for Jedi and Force sensitive. So Donnie Yen, his character, is Force sensitive.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
But yes, that looks amazing. Cannot wait.
Yeah, it looks incredible. And then there was the teaser for Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Which looks fun.
The little Groot in his little jacket.
Groot, I think it looks so cool.
Oh, it looks so good. The trailer's going to be dropping soon. I mean, James Gunn said that's just the tease. The trailer will be coming soon, which will give more details away. The things we get from this so far, I think, are that the pilot was split. So it looks like Drax, Gamora and Star-Lord are working as a trio, and then Rocket is off with Yondu and Baby Groot. I imagine they're the ones who rescue Nebula. It seems like that. It looks like we'd see Ego, or at least the giant planet. Yeah, it just doesn't give too much away.
Nope, but it looks like it has more of the same tone.
Yeah, it looks fun, which is what the first one was. And then the final big trailer release was Logan.
Yes.
And it looks like a Wolverine film that I want to watch.
I know, right? I never thought I would utter those words, but that's what I said after watching the trailer is, oh my god, it looks like they might do a good Wolverine film.
Yeah, the vibe I'm getting, I think the music of the trailer helps.
Well, yeah, it's got me utterly Johnny Cash
Yeah.
being hurt.
That does help, but I am getting sort of a road trip, old school buddy cop movie type of vibe.
With Charles Xavier.
Yeah. And he's obviously stepping into the void that Hawkeye would have filled in the comic. Wolverine even says that all the mutants are gone.
Yes.
So I know that a friend of mine's posted on the trailer on the NerdVsWorld page that he imagines some kind of virus rather than Wolverine actually killing them, which is the comic way. And yeah, that looks like an introduction for X-23 as well.
Yeah.
Which is going to be... I want to see how it ties in now with Age of Apocalypse. Because Wolverine's cameo in Age of Apocalypse, the Nathaniel Essex, Mr. Sinister tease from the end of Age of Apocalypse, how that's going to tie into Logan is going to be interesting. because we're looking at a Logan who clearly hasn't used his claws in a while.
And has scars.
Yeah, his regenerative ability is failing.
Yeah.
No doubt as a side effect of whatever's been taking out the mutants.
Yeah, but there look some interesting set pieces, which is like a kind of broken down Cerebro that he appears to be living in.
And it looks like he's buried Xavier as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it does that does look really good. Although it is tough because every time I hear that version of Hurt now, it always reminds me of the Sad Kermit music video. Have you seen the Sad Kermit music video? Watch it at some point after this. It's deeply, deeply disturbing. It's that music playing and then Kermit in the background, basically, shooting crack and masturbating over a photo of Miss Piggy, and it's so wrong.
Oh, wrecked.
It's so wrong. Yeah.
Thanks for that image.
Sorry, you've got to watch the video. It's brilliant. So yes, that's it really for trailers, and then I guess that the next big thing is Doctor Strange.
Yeah. So obviously, at the time of recording this, it's not out yet, but by the time this is released, it will have been out,
and hopefully we'll see it. I think we might be seeing it on Saturday night at MCM.
I'm seeing it.
I think.
I'm seeing it tomorrow, so I'm seeing it on Tuesday.
Sadly, I have to wait for Megan to get back from Germany.
Fair enough. Yeah. I'm not sure about it. Like, nothing in the trailers yet has really grabbed me. There's a lot of spectacle and it looks really interesting, and I want to see how the Inception style city folding works into the film. But it's not like the other films where the trailer has grabbed me and I want to watch it.
Well, 2 words for me that mean it's going to be excellent. Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, well, yeah, she's phenomenal. But yeah, I just had to wait and see. Like, everyone's been thinking for a while, Marvel have got to drop the ball at some point, and yet they have consistently failed to drop the ball. People thought that Guardians of the Galaxy was a risk, like a film where a raccoon and a tree were principal characters, and yet that film is my favourite of all the MCU films.
Yeah.
And then Ant-Man was a risk in some people's eyes, but became one of the best heist movies going.
Yeah.
Like, for me, this is the one with the most potential to slip up. I think perhaps because I'm not completely familiar with the source material, and because I'm not sold by the trailer. But I will watch it anyway.
I think it's interesting, and I'll be I am very interested to see how they tie in the whole magic aspect to the universe, because it's something that they've not yet broached. Yeah.
And it will be wrapping up the Infinity Stones as well. So yeah, it's going to be. I mean, Marvel's record is pretty solid, so it's going to be a solid film.
Oh yeah, well, it's going to rake in the money regardless of what happens, Brandy Book Cummer Snatch, so everyone's going to go and see it.
That's true. Yeah, but I'll have my review up as soon as I've gone and seen it.
No, that's cool. And then I'll watch it after I've read your review. Maybe. We'll see. Because if it's bad, then I won't bother. You know that.
Yeah, and then we can disagree about it on the show.
Oh, I doubt it. I think it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it.
Cool. Right. If you're around MCM this weekend...
I will be around all weekend, doing all sorts of cool, funky and interesting things.
Yes. So check the Twitter from NerdVsWorld and Wonky Spanner.
Yep, absolutely.
And find out where we are. I will be at BristolCon covering a book launch, so if you're around Bristol and BristolCon on Saturday, come and say hi.
Only other thing for me is I've got to give a shout out to the people who have made my very cool gun that I will be premiering at a LARP in a couple of weeks' time.
Nice.
They're called Cockit and Pew, and I'll put a link to their stuff in the show notes because it's fantastic and you'll love it because it's essentially a replica of Mal's gun with a drop leg based on Mal's, so that's why I got it done. I sent the guy a picture of Mal's drop leg, and he's done it utterly perfect. So
awesome.
I have that for a LARP in a couple
of weeks. Which LARP is
it? It's one up in Cumbria called Into the Dark. It's actually a campaign that I wrote and came up with over 20 years ago now.
Jesus.
And then when I moved away, I let other people run with the idea, and it's still running now 20 years later. So I'm going back to Crewe for the weekend.
Amazing. That's awesome. I was cooking LARPs last. I'm playing a LARP once a month, which I stopped playing about 10 years ago, and it's just been reignited and come up again for a year in. Yeah, actually last month was the anniversary of its return. It's a Vampire in Public game.
Yeah, cool.
It's not as cool as it used to be because times have changed. It used to be that like you could literally go out into public and play the game, and if you were stopped and people were asking what you were doing, then you'd broken the myth.
Yeah,
you know, it was like
That's
that.
You've broken the masquerade now.
So you were fucked.
Yeah.
And if you needed to feed, you'd go up and speak to someone and ask them for the time. And if you keep the conversation going, the longer you go, the more blood you got out of them.
Right.
So it's a really interesting mechanic. But unfortunately, the world we live in at the moment means that you can't walk around town centres with swords and light weapons and stuff.
Sadly not.
Sadly. So it's become a really political game, which is great, apart from, unless you're playing one of the Gwetha Freya, who are just the thuggish martial clan of vampires. They get very little to do in a politics game. This is why I've created a new character.
I've just realised the whole thing about the LARP was supposed to be a secret, and here's me blabbing it on a podcast.
Oh shit.
We hadn't told anybody that I was coming, so it's fine.
They won't listen to
They don't listen to the stuff I do.
Cool. Right, I think that's all for this week.
I believe so, sir, yes.
Cool. Well, thank you all for listening. I've been Brendan.
I've been Spindles.
And until next time, take care and be excellent to each other.
Woohoo!
No mistakes.
You did it right! Yay!